Get it. As we do have in the bottom right-hand corner from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. In the top left from Onside Gaming, it is Maru. And let's see what this TvT Best of 5 final from the KSL number 1 is gonna bring us today. Now, I've heard rumors in this series that there's a little bit of smack talk between the two, ByuN and Maru, very good friends. So, just enjoy not being able to read it, because I can't speak Korean, and neither can the majority of us, so they're gonna go and talk to each other for a while, and we'll sit back and see what happens. You have a translator in here. And guys are gonna make Maddox sit there and translate for you all. So selfish. Unbelievable. ByuN, it's gonna be a tank drop, obviously. Yeah, obviously. All Maru ever does. Aggression in TvT. Now it says, Sai, you need to learn the lesson. And he's expecting a Reaper expand of ByuN while he's the one doing it. I think Maru is low-key a very good trash talker slash troll, I guess is the way to phrase it. Yo, anonymous gift, gifting a sub to Maddox. Thank you so very much for gifting a sub and giving out a Maddox. Appreciate it. It is kind of the thing that ByuN would do, though, right? Take the risky expansion in TvT with the Reaper expand and then do that, and then, you know, it's kind of funny because to me this is kind of Maru playing how ByuN might play. I wonder if he's going to try and get under his skin like that. He's like, here, I'll play like you would. See how easy it is to win? And yet you don't feel like it's easy to win. Something like that. A couple of reads on the way out. Maru has his reactor up and running. Again, his starport will be later. This is a game where ByuN is going to be the aggressor. And he will go straight to the medevac as well to set up for potential aggression too. So ByuN, maybe he's going to go for the tank drop, guys. What if these guys just do the builds they said the other guys were going to do? What if they both trolled in the exact same way? OMG. No factory unit from ByuN, though. It's just going to be a couple of Marines, a couple of Reapers, and a Hellion or two. Factory did build a tech lab, but it's going to give it up to the starport so we can begin Raven production and go from there instead. So yeah, not super aggressive on either side, really. Maru just holds a slight worker lead that you get from the early game. If you go faster expand than your opponent. I mean, as Reaper comes through, a little bit of damage done, and now it goes down. Special try and talk to the players. Doesn't have referee permissions. Awkward. That awkward moment when you try and join in and everyone sees you and you just get blanked because they didn't let you have the right permission to talk to them. Not something that happens every day, but when it does happen, oof. Awkward. Yeah, just a game of scouting so far, right? Just information gathering from Maru. Up about a couple of workers still just because of the opening. It's not enough to really be too decisive in TvT. You know, TvT is a matchup where defender's advantage is a big thing, so, you know, typically being behind a couple of workers isn't ideal, but anything your opponent does better than you, by being a defender, you just kind of undo that a little bit, so. A couple of racks will go down. It's going to be 3 racks in total coming up then from Maru. He's already got the 3rd CC finishing shortly. You're also starting to see the extra advantages, I guess, of these SCVs having been just 2 ahead this entire time. You know, CC's faster, engineering bays are sooner. These things are just coming in a little bit more quickly than what ByuN is able to produce them at, so definitely a bit of a factor there. There's our Hellion, Cyclone, and a couple of Reapers. We'll begin to move forward and continue to try and get in position to do something. Maru will lose a Marine in the center. Wouldn't mind turning up there. So ByuN's actually the one with all the map control for now. There is on the bottom side this double Raven. That's going to somewhat awkwardly fly by the other double Raven. So Raven on Raven. Raven defense maybe. Yeah, single order turret just to push that away. And those 2 Ravens for now will not commit into the base at all. We're going to try and go in again though. And we drop all of the order turrets down. We kill one of the Ravens. The other one's super low HP. Order turrets. Do we not have the energy from ByuN? It seems like we do not. Oh my goodness, now ByuN's Ravens have to go running. Oh my goodness, he nearly loses one. That Raven is actually going to end up killing 4 or 5 SCVs. And nearly killed a Raven of ByuN as well. Wow, that was that was actually really quite something, wasn't it? That got very scary very quickly. As, yeah, that could have been obviously a full-on disaster. It's going to be seen our Cyclone still there to try and zone out the Raven at the moment and just keep things back. They'll have a 1-1 upgrades, combat shields on the way from ByuN. East impact finishing from Maru, obviously again just had that a little bit later. That's the one thing ByuN had a lead on, but not enough of to really just go across the map and do anything with it, right? So they're not really able to take advantage of it or so. Sort of sitting at home saying, I have stim and you don't. If this Raven gets out alive, by the way, that is absolutely utterly ridiculous. The 4 HP Raven. We're going to drop 1 more order turret here, work his way through the mineral line. SCV's pull to fight it. Oh my goodness, ByuN, we're losing so many workers. ByuN only has 50 workers, man. This Raven actually caused so much disruption to ByuN. Even though it was, like, basically dead. Like, it was a disaster for Maru. Like, he basically lost 2 Ravens for free, and he somehow turned them into, like, 10 kills. Because 1 Raven survived on 4 HP. Like, how utterly ridiculous is that? Yeah, actually wild. Units will move forward, and, well, it's going to be seeing the units of ByuN going to come stimming up, chasing Maru down. Maru already has 1-1. We mentioned his engineering bays were much quicker than ByuN's. Again, just leading back to that initial, well, opening, really. The faster expansion from Maru really did just put him on a few more minerals throughout the game, and definitely had a bit of an impact. Army trying to knock down this set of rocks in the center, so just opening up this area, providing a passageway through. And Marines will take a couple stims forward, a couple steps to try and deny a Viking or so. Vikings take some shots, but mostly just have to back away. And these armies continue to come towards each other, looking to maybe clash in on either side. Drop the Matrix down on that tank, so ByuN will get in a good aggressive position here. That tank got unsieged, but it couldn't get away before the tanks of ByuN snap it down. Ravens with energy from Maru. I mean, he's got what, about... He's got a good chunk of Matrixes. I don't want to say exactly how many, but he could hit a bunch of these tanks if he wants to. Now the Matrix is coming from ByuN, though. He makes the play forward. He's going to jump in, go for some of these tanks. He eats an anti-armor missile, which means the Marines are low HP. Goes after the 3rd base now, but only after the SCV's already evacuated. He'll kill a few SCVs which are repairing the base, so he will not really get anything. 4 workers. Gonna lift up and go to the main base, though. Maybe this is something that Maru can't stop easily. No siege tank included, however, on this lift up, so no way to hold the ramp and to really punish Maru if he tries to run in here. Surprised we didn't go after the tech lab on the barracks. That was combat shields. Obviously, maybe ByuN doesn't know it's combat shields, but still surprised he just didn't give it a go at all. These tanks say, hey, you can't actually do that. I'll just turn around and fight. And these tanks actually fight against Marines that are dropping out the medevacs. ByuN's still behind on workers, still behind on army, but still trying to make something happen, being the aggressor here as he moves on through. He's got a lot of his tanks siege. His SCVs, a few of those pull in to help out with this. Is this enough tanks still active? I do not think so. Maru has so many Marines, and he pushes on through. He's going to turn ByuN around, and ByuN for the moment just has to back it up, give it a bit of space, and that will be that. I think these few Vikings going to go after that medevac here as well. ByuN is done okay, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you look at this, he killed 21 workers. The army supplies are coming out pretty even as well across the board. That's turned into a much better situation than what you might have originally expected it to be for ByuN. I was already kind of counting him out and thought this one was kind of done, but actually, he's kind of done enough to stay in it at the very tail end of this. Foundry Fortress is going to be big to keep these SCVs alive, otherwise they would have been sitting ducks. And just waiting to get picked away at there, as now we have an engagement in. Maru gets his tank siege. ByuN loses a lot of his Marines, and as he pulls SCVs in, that's not going to be pretty. His tanks will go down. The SCVs don't hold off long enough. And obviously the tanks remaining here for Maru means he gets another chance. But ByuN is counterattacking, and there's not enough defense here from Maru, so we turn this into something of a base trade. As we move up this ramp, we will get rid of all of the Marines, and again, units cannot produce fast enough here. As the Marines take a dive into the main, where more SCVs will go down. So ByuN will lose his third base. Maru loses all of the economy in the main, and the natural. Maru, I was going to say, ByuN takes a bit of a daring stim forward here, but he's actually going to get on top of some of these tanks, starting to clear them out. ByuN has supplies in his favor. He's clearing out this army. The reinforcements on this side of the map can't go anywhere. The Marines are stuck on the wrong side of the production, so the tank dies, and Maru has to type GG's. ByuN turns this game around on its head and picks up the victory for game number 1. ByuN. Just bonkers sometimes, TvT, isn't it? StarCraft's in the top right corner. Up 1 is going to be Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. While in the bottom left, the blue Terran from onside, Maru. The Grey 265, thank you so much for a gifted sub, and it's going to hit 155 kcal in the chat. Thank you so much for gifting out a sub. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you for being awesome. Depot will finish on both sides of the map. Barracks will start. Go 4,000. All right, we'll go then. You guys heard it. The Grey 265 declared. It's time to go 4,000. 32 prime. You definitely just have 32 primes on the channel, right? That's normal. Just 32 primes in a row. Go. Harry says, I'm coming. ByuN laughs in his face. Says, nope. Not gonna buy it. Not believing in a proxy. No scout from ByuN. No fear. Does play double gas, says Maru. Single gas expansion again. I really feel like Maru's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna do what you like to do. I'm gonna taunt you. I'm gonna do this sort of builds you do. And beat you with them. Only he didn't beat him in the first game, but that wasn't so much to do with the opening build. He was definitely ahead of the opening build. It was the turnaround. It was actually pretty sick from yeah, it was actually really sick from ByuN to turn that around, because he was actually in a really bad spot. Yo, the Grey 265, thank you so much for giving out another sub to Dash. Thank you so much. And also Mad Egg coming in with the 1 year resub. Thank you so much for the 1 year. Appreciate the generosity, guys. You have 10 seconds to make a hype train happen. Oh my god. I don't think it'll happen. That's way too little time. Hype train derailed before it even got on the tracks. Unbelievable. Reaper is going to go on an adventure here. So Maru will take that out on a bit of a journey. Why am I speaking so weird? Journey? What's that? Just weird-ass way of saying a word, isn't it? Alright, yeah. 2 Reapers. Again, Maru is expanding sooner than ByuN is, so he is hoping to be able to make use of that. And so far, yeah, it's not going to be in any real immediate danger. Starts to morph in the orbital, and everything looking pretty comfortable for that at the moment. Couple SCVs mining away in the natural, just going to be seen our Cyclone, couple Marines, all of this building up right now. Our Starport's finishing. Actually, Starports are much more similarly timed this time around compared to last time. ByuN Starport was that much sooner. I mean, the worker count's also evening out too, so it looks as though everything is going to be a little bit more level compared to last game, despite again the difference in the openers. It's hard to imagine Maru being mad. You know, I actually think the first time I ever really saw Maru, like, I guess I have seen Maru tilt before, but like, he genuinely tilted in the Katowice finals, no? Like, not to take anything away from Oliveira, but like, he just looked like he was defeated. Like, after like the first game, or even the second game he lost, I guess. Like, he was... yeah. He looked tilted. I don't think it's rare to see emotion from Maru, and that was very much so. Emotion is ByuN denies the Reaper from getting in. Siege tank on both sides of the map producing third CC already from Maru, while ByuN will not get that third CC up just yet, so not going to move into that just now. Will take a little while longer to get that setup going. Never seen them talk so much. It's actually quite common in these online cups to, you know, a couple of guys that are friends with each other to have some banter while the games are going on. It actually happens, I'd say a lot, like, you know, it happened a lot in a Lima League in the past, for example, and yeah, like a lot of the time in these online cups it can happen if the right players play against each other, if they're feeling in a fun mood. ByuN and Maru especially are probably two of the most talkative players between each other. ByuN's rattled by the Reapers and Maru is asking what the fuss is about, saying you're too paranoid. There's like one Reaper, man. ByuN coming across the map. Does have a couple of Ravens here to get involved. So it can be quite aggressive here, actually. ByuN has a lot of units rallying across this other side, so a lot of opportunity for him to just dive in and to maybe be a little bit cheeky here. Let's see what he can do. It's obviously Ravens defensively from Maru as well, but if ByuN just gets the first Matrix off, gets in position, we'll see what Maru can do about that. It's going to be two tanks already over here. The Ravens setting up on this side. Tanks will siege and range of the refineries. That's a good thing you can deny straight away, something you generally want to keep, obviously, as a Terran player. And all three of these siege tanks are going to be in range of that, so it will not last very long at all. It's going to come around the back. Just going to be seeing our Ravens looking for some of those auto turrets to harass, so not feeling like we need it at the front. And as the Ravens take attention over here, ByuN is taking this as an opportunity to unsiege those tanks that were on that position, and he's taken those away elsewhere as he matrixes the Cyclone to guarantee very little damage on these Ravens. They can back away. The tanks are going to re-siege. Like I say, a bit of a different position, maybe hoping something walks in range to try and get the Ravens, and you don't realize the tanks are going to be there because the reposition's kind of intriguing. Obviously, Maru losing out 5 workers here. ByuN now takes a couple workers lead off of this. I mean, he was on a much later third base, so he did need to do some amount of damage to equalize that, and so far he's done that. Is now he's going to get matrixed, and Maru has stim, and that's going to be a major deciding factor in this fight. One of the ByuN's Ravens goes down. All of his tanks are going to go down as well. ByuN stuck around way too long. Stim being finished is obviously just hugely detrimental to ByuN being on the map right now. And yeah, he sends his one alive Raven forward to try and harass a little bit, but that's not really going to make up for all the units we just lost out on ByuN. That's not really going to do it. So unfortunately, that is going to be very, very bad for ByuN. And Maru is immediately onto the map and seeing if he can go and do something else on top of this. He'll have combat shields soon on top of the 1-1 upgrades. All of that in favor compared to what ByuN has right now. And this army of Maru comes all the way around that right-hand side. Ravens, Marines, and tanks. Gonna go pushing across the sides. And a little scan up. Just gonna stem forwards here. Marines gonna run into each other. Anti-armor missile strikes a whole chunk of Marines. As the tanks do get sieged, the Marines actually doing pretty well. Maru's Marines not able to get forward there because of the other siege tank or two. But he can go drop across and kill the third base off, right? So, yeah, there's a siege tank there. I think we can kill that quite easily. We're going to drop some Marines on top of these Marines, but I don't think that works considering the combat shield should make this a pretty unfair fight. Maru does well enough. Obviously, he's trading very well. And even more Marines coming over just in case they were really needed. This tank's even repositioned a bit over this side too to provide some additional support. Still pushing on the natural tank of Maru, getting the kill on the tank of ByuN. He matrix the tank in the back so you can, again, just play into this position much more easily. Here comes the push forward from ByuN, trying to get forward here, going for that first siege tank. It's going to drop down dead. The other siege tank going to try and hold on. It's going to go down as well now. And these Marines and SCVs just continue forward, trying to get done as much as possible. ByuN pushes Maru back and will not quite have to give it up just yet. But it's really not a pretty position. It's really not a pretty situation right now as our army of Maru goes back to the north. Big lift up into the main base. We had 16 Marines be able to unload and start a fight against all of these Marines. So a lot of Marines start to take a whole chunk of damage. We're going to start off onto a reactor here. I mean, Maru kind of just saying, hey, ByuN, you remember last game we turned it around with some drops? I'll show you some drops. Well, there was actually a counter drop from ByuN, and I guess Maru's weakness last game was under-defending back at home while having a good position. Something you can't really do against ByuN. And ByuN is basically trying to show us pretty much why right now. Well, now ByuN's job gets cleaned down. Maru can maybe focus fully going across the map and keeping the aggression up again. So another option door that opens to him here with that cleanup. I mean, obviously nothing stopping ByuN maybe getting more medevacs across the map. I believe they're already flying over, so you still have to probably pay some attention back at home. But we do have just a stim forward here from Maru, going to knock down a couple of tanks. The SCVs are dropping down. Marines of ByuN come running in. Yeah, this is going to be just a lift, a leave. Maru evacuates. And he has so much defense in the main base. And he's actually hunting down in the bottom right as well. He does get rid of, I think he actually got rid of a medevac there already. Not 100% sure, but he's shutting down the drops. He's maintaining control. 150 or 115 supply. Upgrade's about to be in his favor as well. And yeah, ByuN's going to need something probably more than a miracle at this stage to really get back in this, as Marines come through once again and just going to keep the army of Maru at bay. Plus 2 attack, plus 3 armor coming in. These few Marines get forced to lift back up into the medevac. Away they go, running into the back of this base over here. Get rid of the medevac now. Vikings helping to remove it and just see a couple more scans out into the center. Again, 2-2 upgrades. Still building from ByuN. Still has a way to go with that. Loading units up into medevacs in big numbers because he knows he needs to make serious and decisive plays if he wants to be able to win this out. So yeah, gonna fly all the way around that sensor tower. But Maru's army in the middle is already terrifying, and even if you turn this into something of the base trade, I think Maru will have the leg up in that as well. Let's see. I mean, ByuN's gonna have an army which will have to try and clean out a planetary on this left-hand side. The drop goes into the main base. There was a lot of defense at one point here from Maru, no longer though. As the drop goes off, he will continue with his own army across the map, and he's, well, we'll see that in just a few moments. Here it is, running into the natural, and ByuN is like, on a base trade. Well, I don't. Basically, did he lose everything over here already as well? Let's just quickly look at that. I think this just didn't go very well for him. He didn't lose everything here. I think he just knows he has no way to stop this, and Maru's just got so much more. Like, you already see, like, he's got, like, 15 Marines here, these Marines. You could argue that he maybe could have tried, but he's definitely dead. Apparently, ByuN asked for a draw. That's funny. In the bottom right-hand corner from the Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. Meanwhile, in the top left, our blue Terran from Onside Gaming, Maru. And now, the Reapers are going to be coming as the SCVs head across the right side of the map. Drop down the first barracks here. We're going to be seeing the second Rex to shortly follow. Dragon Scale is one of the better maps for Reapers. A lot of jump up space, a lot of room to work with here and try and take advantage with. Now ByuN doesn't like scouting, and he's done double gas twice in a row. I'm worried what ByuN might do here is potentially not scout and go one gas expand. Like, you know, I know he's already putting down a double gas, but like, I'm kind of worried that somehow he's going to cancel it. It's just like, it's the kind of ByuN thing to do, right? It is double gas for now, but obviously still no scouts. He will not see this until he checks for it with his Reaper, which is likely what he will do. It would be surprising to not check for the proxy on that side with the Reaper when it spawns, so should be able to get a little bit of a heads up, but it's really going to be very minor the amount of time you have to start reacting to this. Well, 2 Reapers on the way. Like I say, no scouting from ByuN. His first Reaper really is what we follow here to figure out if he's going to get any heads up about this at all. If he doesn't see this, the issue becomes that you are essentially going to be, you know, before you know about it, there's 2 Reapers in your base, right? Yeah, he scouts over here immediately. It just makes so much sense. It's so common. It's a good map for it. And you have to try and spot these things at this point in time if you did an SCV scout, so ByuN finds it, confirms it, and now pulls SCVs to begin defending. Maru puts a sad face out, probably knowing he... Probably sad because obviously it got scouted immediately. Like, ByuN went the right direction, didn't go left, he went right. Although 2 SCVs low ground is just a freebie, as ByuN maybe should type less and micro your SCVs more. This Reaper is not in a good spot. Oh, God, that was wild. Obviously, the second Reaper just popped out. That was very dangerous. ByuN says WTF. Why would you proxy me, bro? I thought we were friends. Reapers will come along and SCV goes down on the natural. Just going to be seeing the Reapers continue to spread here and just go for potentially the Hellion. Actually, it's a good grenade. The Hellion's going to die, and we're still outnumbered in Reapers. Next Hellion showing up. Maru leaves us 2 Reapers to finish off there and pulls back the others. Extra Reaper about to arrive, and this Hellion's very far forward committed. Can't really get out. It's going to start moving out and maybe loops around to hit the barracks and reinforcements, or it can go across the map and maybe try to look getting into the base. That would be a surprise, though. Now rebuilding his own Hellion right now as he controls the natural, and ByuN cannot build up this CC. Losing a lot of his initial units makes this defense difficult. He cancels the command center. Now Maru has a command center lead as well, and this game is already getting away from ByuN in a few different ways, unfortunately. Reapers and the Hellion just moving up in the center. Still, this barrack's going to fly into the main. A little bit of scout information. Hellion still gathering up on this natural from ByuN. And yeah, Marine just picking its way through the racks for now. There's a chunk of units. Reapers and a couple of Hellions make their way forward. The SCV will go down. It's going to continue to chase in. The Hellions are going to get blasted here. Bunch of damage being done. All these Marines will drop as well. And that's just going to be too much. ByuN not able to trade anywhere near effectively enough here. GG's. And we go to a 2-1 scoreline in favor of Maru. Lucky you. Bottom right, our blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is a ByuN. Top left is Maru from Onside Gaming, and we have our 4th map here as ByuN tries to stay alive in this finals. I'm not subbed and I rarely even get ads, but whenever you do, it's the same ad. That just means that Twitch don't have a lot of ads to deliver in your region, unfortunately. say unfortunately, I mean fortunately for you, because you don't have to watch any, but unfortunately for me, I'll never be a StarCraft millionaire like this. Unbelievable. Special just keeps writing laughs in the chat, like... It's like, why aren't they being funny? Why aren't they bantering with each other? Here's ByuN. ByuN, if you're proxying, let me know. As he puts down the fast gas. CC. This was a command center first, guys. Maru SCV scouts though, and with the SCV scout, now he knows that obviously he can send his units across the map very quickly. And so ByuN's like, no, this is not good. And Maru's just laughing. And absolutely loving it. Why should I do that about the proxy T-Rex? ByuN says I'll just get out of it. Maru asks if you're a fast command... Oh, so apparently Maru asked if you're a fast command center, and ByuN said no. And then Maru just laughs at him. ByuN asking why he searches for it. Probably ByuN, because, you know, you do these kind of things. Okay, this is obviously pretty bad because the Reaper's going to show up, but we've seen ByuN. Was it ByuN that CC first in TvT one time and we saw him kind of get out of it? Like, it's kind of wild, but, like, it's plausible. You know, obviously, you can give up a couple of workers and be okay as well. Looks like Maru's just going to not do anything until at least the second Reaper gets here, so maybe there really is some hope here for ByuN to just keep this at bay and to make this a little bit intriguing. Marines continuing around. Just going to come to the frontier, and Reapers begin to push on forward. The SCV will go down. The Reapers drop a grenade or two up this ramp, and the Marines have to back it up for a moment. Finally, Maru was asking, what is this random shit? And unbelievable. And ByuN asked, why aren't you pushing? To which Maru said, I learned something today. Was it not to push against CC first? I genuinely feel like someone did this though. Like they pushed against ByuN CC first, and then he held, and it was like, haha. Maru's down 6 workers though. Like surely he has to do something here. Annie, says ByuN. CC takes some damage. Obviously, ByuN can't mine off of it, so he's not gaining benefit from some of the SCV lead that he has at the moment. ByuN says this is actually quite good. Maru says this is freaking saggy. Obviously, ByuN's not got Scion, so he's also apparently asking Maru if he Reaper expanded. And Maru says yes. I'm giving you the live updated translations from the chat. Saggy means OP. So OP. Yeah, CC first is OP, guys. What if CC first actually became the TvT meta? Holy crap. It does die to proxy Rax Reaper, but I think it can be okay other times, apart from right now where you lose 8 SCVs to these Cyclones. Huh, maybe CC first will never be meta. Well, maybe it will because ByuN's on the counterattack as well. Siegechak's gonna die as it rallied down at a bad timing. And ByuN has potential to kill a bunch more SCVs still. Ah, says Maru. Probably, you know, like, this isn't good. Ah. I have no defense. So ByuN making up for some of his own worker losses. We're just going to be seeing a couple of units loading up and Cyclones coming through this main base to clean this up. Medevac actually gets away. The lock-ons were used elsewhere, so the Medevac does not get locked onto, can make its escape, and will do just that for the moment. ByuN just always being annoying with this Medevac. Looks like this is the end of it now. Cyclones have the lock on. Medevac will go down. That's the end of ByuN's aggression, but he's got the liver in the main base, so it starts up all over again. Couple of shots, 2 SCVs going down. Yeah, I mean, keeps the Lib alive as well, so that can look for another opening further down the line here, which can also be quite useful. Lib continues to move out down the south. Then we do have two Medivacs, tank, Marines, Stimpack all coming through. These Medivacs load up, gonna go boosting up the right-hand side and see where they can go. Medivacs off on a journey. Cyclone still patrolling the main base. The Reaper hops up to the high ground. Cyclone will clean that out. Now we're trying to pick up a bit of information. Coming out of all of this, ByuN has a 6-worker lead. Stim is really far ahead from him. Maru does have a slight timing advantage on the third base. That's kind of about it, right? Engineering base a little bit ahead from Maru. Like, you know, it's like a little bit of give here, a little bit of take there. I think ByuN's going to just be faster on this bio setup in general, and that'll help a lot. If he gets Stim back during this little attack here, he can potentially get a lot done. He's going to unsiege the tank, I think, realizing that this isn't going to do enough. Maru going for a bit of a slower defense, not just going to run straight in, and because of that, it's best to just have the tank available to be picked up and retracted from that situation. Still in the main base, Marines and tank will drop over in the corner. A couple of these refineries going to be taking a whole chunk of damage here, so there goes one, here goes two. That's actually really nice getting rid of the gases because that slows down a lot of what Maru can afford. As the double matrix comes off of the triple Raven, and that means we can actually just straight up deny these units from getting away. So the Medivacs can leave, but obviously everything else cannot, and that's going to turn out to be quite expensive. Can't evacuate anything at all there, unfortunately. Medivacs continue down to the south, then go join up with everything else. A 10-worker lead still from ByuN. We'll see if he can continue to manifest that into enough units to stay alive in this game, because it's, you know, it's all well and good having the worker lead, but sometimes making that worker lead do something that kind of gets you into a really good, strong winning position just doesn't always happen. Medivacs want to maybe come up this left-hand side, a little play into the natural. There's a turret there, but, well, nothing to stop ByuN boosting past a turret. Obviously, would generally need perhaps something else going on at the same time to really make that worthwhile. You know, be enough of a distraction that Maru's not just instantly going to be over there and dealing with it. Especially if you're going past a turret, the Medivac's going to be low, it's likely not going to make it out alive. So if something, you know, forces you to lift up straight away, it's just not really very valuable to you to, you know, have flown in there in the first place, I would say. One upgrades coming through the combat shield as well. Our Marines, our Medivacs, all heading up to the top. As we stem straight through, two Cyclones do go down. So both of those get denied. Well, the Marines coming across, just heading over there. I'm just going to see our armory coming up. 1-1 upgrades, combat shield, all of this still coming through. The passive kind of game, right? I mean, obviously, guns try and drop around, but that's something that's not going to go very far, and so otherwise it's just going to get you laid back. Obviously, we had some action earlier. We've had, you know, stuff going on, but I guess not a passive kind of game. A passive few moments, right, where the aggression of ByuN's really dying out. Maru is stabilizing on his bases, taking a bit of a work lead. It just doesn't feel like either player is really in a position where they can be punished or picked away at or anything. Not a passive game, but like I say, a passive few moments. Now, ByuN does still have advantages overall. He's got the 2-2 upgrades, for example, already building up. That's going to be a pretty major deal, I would imagine. As these Marines are going to come running up that right-hand side as well. It's going to chase away Medivacs, chase away Marines for a little while. Marines and tanks continuing into the center of the map. Just going to be seeing 2-2 still coming up, plus 1 vehicle weapons on the way in as well. Trying Finally, a bit more chatter between the two of them. ByuN says, drop your ravens, let's go fair and square. Yeah, seems like a good deal. Drop your ravens, beat me fairly. No, says Maru is. Our Marines will come through, just going to be seeing a couple of tanks will set up on that bottom side, and our Marines will come stemming forward here. T2 is not far from being done on the side of Maru, but obviously ByuN's already on 2-2, so if an engagement breaks out right now, that would be bad. And you can actually see that, well, the engagement is going to break out. Maru kind of dies forward. He's going to take maybe a clip of tanks there as well. A lot of those units end up dropping. We also have the bigger army of ByuN up on the top side of the map, by the way, guys. That's something else to keep our eyes on. That's something that could be impactful. And so, yeah, that wasn't pretty at all for Maru. And now we edge a bit further forward, knock down the sensor tower. And again, there's the attack on the other side as well. So these Marines come stemming straight on in. A couple of siege tanks already beginning to drop. So they all start to go down. The tanks have taken position here, and that's going to be part of the issue, that Maru cannot really deal with these tanks. And again, right now, ByuN still has an armor upgrade lead, which can help in these Marine fights. That's kind of, what a lot of this is coming down to, because it's highly mobile fights that are happening, in different places of the map, and players have to keep moving into positions. Maru has a lot of Vikings, but ByuN's not really let Maru make any use of his Vikings just yet. On the bottom of these tanks are going to try and edge forward, and probably going to lose a couple, honestly, almost straight away. But we do win out the fight in the end, and we'll continue to deal some damage. And now this base will continue to take shots while we have this base still lifted. And ByuN reinforcing up on the top side, apparently, at the moment. Libs show up. They think they're going to be the heroes, but actually, the Marines are here to try and fight them, but the tank saves the day. Now, two Marines got on top of the tanks. They will try and fight that off, and it looks as though they will have the kill. So the siege tank goes down. I mean, this all gets dealt with in the end, but you can obviously still say as well that while all this gets dealt with, we've got an army over here, and ByuN has just done a lot of damage. Maru lands their CC, is going to take some shots. Also going to try and siege up the Liberators once again as a response to this, but we've also just maybe worth noting the fact that ByuN's got a massive army moving down the south side of the map. He's got so much reinforcement over there. Well, looks very good for ByuN as he's going to come through here. That's a dead planetary, that's a dead orbital. But it's TvT, and Defender's advantage can go a long way still in TvT, so let's never forget that as you take a bit of a dive here. A couple of these tanks starting to go down. You actually do lose quite a few Marines, and then in fact ByuN's bleeding a lot of Marines. Suddenly Defender's advantage shows itself. 20 supply of Marines or so just getting absolutely nuked. Trying to siege up these Libs. The Marines will give themselves up to get rid of the Libs, which keeps the tanks alive at the very least. That's obviously pretty much an essential play there. Another few tanks will siege, re-siege. Now we're back on the top right side where these Marines are already hitting this mineral line, and SCVs are once again going down. 15 more workers killed. We jump into the main base with this medevac of Marines trying to just keep this action going. ByuN doesn't want to give Maru a chance to get back in this, and he's also currently 3-3 against 2-2, which means he trades well in the Marine battles, even when slightly outnumbered. Once again, tanks show back up over here. A lot of SCVs already being targeted down, taking a lot of shots. And the Vikings, I feel like, are just ping-ponging one way and another. They're never really sure where they need to be. And that's because ByuN just keeps kind of hammering in different directions so repeatedly. Back onto this base. This is an orbital, so if there's not defense here, it dies very quickly on its own accord. There's a couple of tanks, though. The Marines do make it through the Marines of your opponent. He's going to go dive up into the main. Again, just being active, busy, annoying. We do have as well our planetary fortress here taking some shots again as Marines unloading in this main base. 32 SCVs going down, make it 33. Turn back around, the order turret gets picked off. We're even taking shots as well. We do kill the planetary fortress over here as these Marines continue to fight, continue to battle. Siege tanks continue to drop on down. GG, says Maru, and ByuN ties this grand final up 2 games apiece. We are going the distance. We're going all the way to game 5. Game number 5, and we're going to start off in the top right-hand corner with the Shopify Rebellion Red Terran player. This is ByuN. And he gonna get proxied. As an SCV is already moving out on the other side of the map. Make it 2. As in the bottom left, Blue Terran play from one side is Maru. I love Maru, but I want to see ByuN take it for some reason. Of course you do, because, you know, Maru also always wins the TvTs, right? He's meant to be really good at this matchup. He's meant to win this thing when he signs up. ByuN, it's fun to kind of see the underdog doing it. And ByuN definitely is an underdog. Like, he's done well against Maru as of late, but he's definitely an underdog when it comes to fighting him, because it's very hard for anyone to be a favorite against Maru, right? Yeah, I mean, how can you not want either of these players to win? I mean, it's always fun to see Maru continue to do well. It's always fun to see ByuN showing up. It's just been good games, guys. Like I said, it's been a good day of SC2s. It's been fun to be able to, like I say, just work our way through this full bracket and catch up on this event that happened through the night in my eyes. Through the night for me a few days ago. This is 2 Rax Reaper proxy against the 1 gas expand, by the way, so ByuN trying to do a little bit more of this expansion-based play that we've been seeing from him more so in the last couple of games of this series. And, well, there's the CC. The thing is, to not scout when you go 1 gas expand is so greedy. Usually the timing works out so that when you get across the map, you get across the map with the SCV, realize that there's no barracks, and you don't put the CC down just in that moment, so you can actually react. Now you've put the CC down because you're playing blind, and this is going to be disastrous as ByuN's going to check for the proxy, finds it straight away. The first Reaper's already gone to the natural to stop that command center from building to get the initial SCV kill that's going to come very easily here. So, you know, this Reaper jumps on top and, ha! Says ByuN. As, yeah, Maru is going to be happy about this as well, laughing himself in return. I'm just going to be seeing this Reaper, though. ByuN going to try and get the Reaper. Maru makes the getaway. The other Reaper coming back around. Continuing to play chases as we do have a grenade to help out. And, well, ByuN got to conjure up the defense here. Command center obviously cancelling. Not worth trying to defend that on the lower ground. Better to just accept that that will fall. And that will be going down as a few Reapers hop up into the main base. A few shots come out in return. We go back and forth a little bit. We actually maybe have a kill here. The Reaper of ByuN got slowed down by the SCV, but he actually still gets the kill anyway. Oh, and he got very far forward on that. Maru messes up the micro. And he puts the question mark down. ByuN with the question mark in return. Yep, that's what that's the thing. 3 SCVs do go down again. 7 army supply to the 3 right now in favor of ByuN, so this really is coming to a tail end of this. Obviously, ByuN building his expansion a little bit quicker than Maru, but Maru builds his on location, which will help him to play a bit of catch-up there. Still building 2 Reapers at a time, and also some Hellions to reinforce this too. More question marks. Or if we just question mark at each other the entire time now. This just becomes like a question mark showdown. And we never stop. ByuN says, I defended it, but now I'm dead. Yeah, she isn't, right? I mean, maybe misreading his position slightly if that's how he believes. ByuN asks, how did I pull that out? And Maru says, what do you mean? I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels fine for ByuN. I don't think either of them are dead. Maru says, it seems like my mouse is broken. Excuses. Oh, that's funny. Freaking Maru. I mean, he definitely just went too far forward a couple of times, like towards the ramp as well, and you just can't do that when you're playing the Reapers there, because that's how ByuN gets forward, that's how ByuN defends it, right? That's how ByuN gets the grab on some of those units. Gonna see our medevac then coming across the map from Maru from the lower sides. Away we go to see if we can get across and be aggressive. We do have the Cyclone picking up a kill already here from ByuN. He's gonna have to go running now to siege tank in this medevac as Maru will look to take position with this. Try and get something out of it. The scan onto this natural, see what he's fighting against. The medevac has Marines inside, so ByuN But if he's keeping those Marines in that medevac just to kind of make this look as though there's not actually as much here. Obviously, starts to unload now as this fight breaks out. The tank decided to siege up. The Cyclone will go down. The other Cyclone has the lock onto the tank, though, so that will deny it. That will be the guaranteed pickoff. And that means that it's mostly already a defense here from ByuN, right? If you've gotten rid of the siege tank, nothing else is really overly scary. The, Marine drop, etc. it's fine, but you've got units of your own to respond to that. It's not like a position that can't be broken like it can get to be with a tank at points in time, so... yeah, just in a decent spot there as the Liberator goes back around to the top of the map. It's going to be Maru's turn to keep the pressure up as ByuN try to harass and harass last game around. It's Maru that's going to keep it coming this time. 39 to 38 workers. A few Marines unloading the back of the main base. Cyclone locks onto the medevac here. Will get that kill. Working on everything else, but against the Liberator. The drop in the main base going down, it's whatever, because it's really just about this kind of Liberator actually being able to deal some damage. The drop acts as a distraction. Now, this group of Marines were busy, and they're going to get a refinery, if that, because now the SCVs repair it. Oh, the tank repositions as the Marines move forward. Yeah, but it's not going to be that much from ByuN. He's going to come out of this, what, about 8 workers behind, so really anything but ideal so far. Yeah, solid lead for Maru in terms of workers, but it is actually a ByuN army supply advantage. So if ByuN could get across the map and force some SCVs to pull in a defense, that could be his way to equalize things, right? Trade army for workers, essentially. And that, like I said, could be his way to equalize things out. If you don't do anything here... yeah, if you don't do anything, then it kind of ends up in this weird spot where... Maru will just have more economy, and then you don't ever take advantage of your army lead, and then he catches up on army, and then things just all settle down or so. G-Ravens is on this natural medevacs, ready to go boosting into this natural as well, so looking to make this play. Here we go. ByuN, like I say, needs to trade some army for workers at the very least right now. Hendrix goes down. Just going to be seeing that Raven getting caught. The tanks doing a great job on the refinery. Obviously, crushing those down, killing a few SCVs. So far, I'd say a job well done, but we're not done yet. There's a couple of Vikings can defend against this Liberator. How many tanks can the Liberator kill initially? Not enough. This position will be held, and Maru will have some issues. Now the Matrix has come down, drops the auto turrets. He's going to use this. This is a chance he has tanks in range, but with 2 tanks still firing, it's still expensive. As we are going to be taking down at least one more siege tank there as ByuN. A few more SCVs coming out of this. ByuN finally losing out on this army. Maru gets the cleanup, but ByuN is up 8 workers and an army supply. ByuN just has a definite lead coming out of this. He's done a lot with this drop. What a position to get into. Does so much damage with it. And now, ByuN is leading this game 5 against Maru in our grand finals of KSL 1. Well, great drop. Obviously, again, far from being over because, you see turning points in TvT all of the time. But at this point in time, you got to like it for ByuN. I don't know if I like this, though. He's got no tank siege and he drops an auto turret. I think there's just enough firepower here for Maru to deal with this. Good lift up on the one tank that was still on siege and getting hurt. And he saves that as well. Maru, a good hold there. Offsets the army supply differences. He also had 1-1, so his Marines are going to be that little bit better in some of these fights too. So that's worth keeping in mind, because that can also absolutely make quite the difference. Marines, tanks, Vikings, all just hanging out on the 3rd base. Just going to be seeing... oh, I said just going to be seeing... no, the wardy phrase. We will be having Maru moving across the map, and again, maybe trying to do something with the current 1-1 advantage, so his Marines being that little bit better off. Marauders mixed in, which is kind of funny because Marauders not usually seen in TvT, because Marauders are, for the supply you use up in Marauders, they don't deal as much damage as just having Marines. And usually it comes down to having, you know, straight up DPS output rather than tankiness of Marauders because of the fact that a lot of the damage onto the bio comes from siege tanks. You just want to have enough Marines to make sure you're surging through towards the end. So, yeah, interesting to see a few Marauders here. As SCV start to go down, ByuN might be about to lose his +1 armor. 1 second away from finishing. It just finishes, my goodness. I was gonna say, like, I can appreciate not canceling it, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter if you cancel it or not, but, like, I was gonna say, like, at least pull some SCVs to repair to make sure. I mean, okay, in this case it was apparently calculated, but I feel like pulling, like, 2 or 3 SCVs would not have been a bad thing, just to make sure it definitely finished, right? Tanks taking an aggressive step forward here, and Maru is actually going to be able to keep on pushing through. ByuN only has a couple of tanks of his own. That was a bit of an interesting back and forth fight. Both players run into tank range of the opponent at points. In the end, Maru decides to unsiege, back away, give ByuN some space again on his own side of the map. These tanks and Marines in full retreat mode. And, well, the army of ByuN going to move over the right side as well. Tanks and Marines still coming across there. Just going to see a little bit of a stim come through as we make our way forward. And back and forth begins. The tanks will be sieging. We just about got that kill in time, so that's big. These Marines going to stim forward once more here, and in we go. Is going to go for some of the siege dub tanks as they got into siege positions. Is this okay for ByuN? Like, he gets 4 siege tanks in the end. I would say yes. It kind of like went on. I didn't want to make a call because I was waiting to see how much more the Marines did, and they really did get a few final Marines and a couple of tank kills at the very end of that. So, actually seemed to work out way better than I would have expected it to for ByuN. That was quite incredible, honestly. Did not think that was going to go down like that. As our medevac slowed back up, going to go over to the left side. ByuN's going to start dropping. We know, and we've seen it in this series already, that those ByuN drops can be absolutely terrifying. They can be so freaking dangerous. And I imagine that's going to be what they are. Off and away to try and do. Although flying through sensor tower range, ByuN is going to be forced to... Well, he's going to get chased down a little bit here. These medevacs of Maru already loading up and moving into position to deal with this. The Marines of ByuN will try and fight, but there's no distinct advantage there. I think this is very smart just to be a lift and a leave. Marines out down to the south side. Just going to be seeing our command center coming up on that forward base here, and that 4th up and running. Maru already has a 4th base. That is one big difference between the two. Maru having that additional economy secured. ByuN still needing to make the move out to that spot. Obviously building on location to try and speed up the process, but that is risky if Maru gets over there. We don't have sensor tower vision or anything on the left side of the map really from ByuN to spot an attack that would hit that base. So it could very easily be he's out of position and then it just gets cancelled. So if Maru finds that opportunity, that could be a turning point of this as well, where then ByuN is really stranded without a 4th base for much longer than he ever should have been. Trying to find a fight here. Maru just playing with the edge of siege tank fire as ByuN repositions them. He just about takes a clip as he tries to get away again. ByuN still with the overall supply lead, but again, I can 100% see that slipping away. As Maru, by the way, +2 armor late again. He was late on +2 armor last game too, and he feels like that's the 2nd time he's made that mistake, so definitely feels like some mistakes being made here from Maru. Things come across, medevac goes down. All these Marines are going to get wiped out in the end as the couple of Vikings load back up. So this drop doesn't do much. 5 SCVs go down on the other side. There's the 4th base of ByuN getting caught. Like I say, he had no vision on this side of the map. So this drop of Maru catches ByuN completely off guard. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Well, ByuN's still up a little bit of supply here, but yeah, this was just a fantastic little counter. Is now going to see Marines trading out with other Marines. Apparently ByuN was cheering time Oliveira. I don't know if he's trying to summon him for, to use his powers, or he's just trying to tilt Maru. 14 SCVs going down here, as we do see obviously ByuN having an army somewhat in position across the map. I mean, It's in position, but it still needs to move further forward to do more serious damage, so it's still kind of up in the air how much success it will find. We try and drop in the main base, we lose a tank before the medevacs unload. A lot of these units are ByuN and low HP, and there's a siege tank there that will do a lot. In fact, I don't even know if that tank's going to fall. It doesn't, so ByuN gets so little out of this. It feels as though Maru is taking a severe lead. He kills 20 SCVs, denying the 4th base across the map. Is a massive play. Going to be seeing Maru continue to come around. I see. So apparently, apparently ByuN made a pun where, okay, these Marines going to chase away. So apparently, to fix the translation, ByuN was joking. He was asking for a timeout, and then he said Oliveira, as making a joke on the fact he was asking for a timeout because things were going badly for him. I see. There you go. I misunderstood the translation. Just to be clear. For anyone that's just listening in and not reading the Twitch chat, thank you to our translators in the chat, keeping us on course. Marines and tanks going to move forward. Just going to be seeing a few Marines unloading and picking off a siege tank there. It's going to take that down. More Marines continue to drop as well. Siege tank goes down. Vikings going to clean this up. Again, feels like ByuN, these drops have become almost desperate. They're just going into the same places, not really doing much any time. He will at least force his way onto this base, but there is obviously other bases for Maru. Losing this one or having this one picked up for now doesn't really matter as much as, you know, it would have done a few minutes ago. ByuN relocated his main base orbital to the 3 o'clock position, so it's not exactly even ideal that he's on 4 bases. You know, it's actually still just his main relocated at the moment. Medevacs go boosting away. So I'm ByuN still working down that right-hand side, trying to find locations. ByuN being so active, trying to find a, you know, again, ways back into this. And to be fair, I mean, if nothing else, it's keeping Maru back until he maybe eventually does find the way back in, the chance to step back into it. Marines coming across is going to be seeing a couple of Liberators going down, so a couple of those libs getting picked away at. And ByuN is hanging on in there, but again, it's not super easy, not super pretty. It's going to be having the +3 armor starting on both sides, the lib range coming up as well. We'll see, with lib range, Maru can make it much easier kind of closing off this game where you can really just control the siege tank lines with your liberators, and from there, you really can just kind of find a way to move towards rounding this out. A few Marines on the right and a few SCVs of ByuN going down. He's down 35 workers already, so again, ByuN's not really going to be able to match Maru in terms of building or rebuilding, and that's why ByuN has to get interesting with his positions, has to get fun with his kind of fights, and just has to make something happen. I mean, his army supply is even. But trading evenly wouldn't be enough. He needs to win decisively in engagements to put himself, you know, absolutely ahead when he comes out of it. That's what ByuN needs to achieve in these upcoming minutes. As our Marines and our tanks will make their way down to the bottom. Scan comes forward and just going to be having ByuN now a siege on the right side. Vikings and a couple of libs will come forward. Actually, ByuN not moving out of there in time, and unfortunately it's only going to be a couple of Marines that go down. But he's dealing with a drop across the map. 5 SCVs go down. His natural expansion is relocated as well, by the way, so yeah, just Maru's going to head to the main base where there really isn't much going on. That doesn't look good for ByuN. He's losing a lot of units. When I say he has to win decisively, obviously that is kind of just the opposite of it, so that really is anything but ideal. Yep, and Libera is going to get even more damage done here. Now ByuN's army supplies are really starting to drop off as well, so a lot of damage being taken right now. ByuN at least dealing with the little drop that Maru had across the map. Still somehow matching Maru's army supply, but it feels like Maru's obviously got all the bases in the world, and he's got all the rebuild possibilities. He's building better army as well with libs and more tanks. You know, Maru's definitely still leading, even if it's maybe not an immediate kind of game-ending army sort of advantage. Oh my god, so many missile turrets here. We're going to lose 2 pretty much full medevacs because 2 of them were just low on the way in. Those extra turrets. That turret on the left kind of initially was really big, putting some extra damage onto the first medevac. Then the extra turrets in the main base just secure this. Now every single medevac will die, and again, yeah, ByuN has to do crazy things, but unfortunately this just isn't going to do it, right? This is just him taking way too many losses, and he really doesn't achieve anything here. Yeah, I mean, maybe these Marines over here can do something. He's going to stim up, get this siege tank, try and take a position, work into something good. A few Marines will go chase SCVs to the left side. Again, just desperation all over the place here from ByuN, trying to scramble together some sort of a defense, some sort of a victory, some kind of trade that might work in his favor. That's not going to, though. It's going to be GG's, and Maru is going to close out this Korean StarCraft League #1 with a 3-2 victory over ByuN.